Today we have the privilege of speaking with an expert, and today we are joined by Impact Tank's Dr. Ndapandula Hamunime, and providing us with a local perspective and the efforts being made within the country to address men's mental health challenges and the impact of Movember. Dr. Ndapandula, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for making the time. Let's dive straight into it. Just explain Movember, because I've heard it, and I'm sure many other people have heard it, but what is it really about, and why is it important?
So Movember is an event that takes place every year in the month of November, and the aim is basically to raise awareness about men's health issues. So this is prostate cancer, testicular cancer, as well as men's mental health, specifically suicide. And generally what happens is men will grow their mustaches out, or their beards, whatever, facial hair, and your bro will be like, hey, why do you have facial hair when you're usually like clean shaven? And then you'll start the conversation. Oh no, I'm raising awareness for men's mental health, prostate cancer, so on and so forth. So that's basically where Movember was birthed from. Sort of like how there's Pink October for breast cancer. Yeah, so there's Blue November, and then it's all about men's mental health, prostate cancer, testicular cancer. And the aim is also to get your fellow men to go for screening, get treatment as early as possible, because something we've seen is that men, they typically present late to the hospital and to the clinics when things are already looking bad. So, yeah.
And, you know, many people may not be aware of the statistics related to men's health issues. Can you just share some of the eye-opening facts about the prevalence of these concerns? Just like you said, a lot of men do present themselves late in the hospitals, and that definitely adds to the statistics. What are some of the eye-opening ones?
So with prostate cancer, for example, it's the third most common cancer in Namibia, and that's after breast and cervical cancer, meaning it's the leading cancer in men in Namibia. It's also the leading cause of death in terms of cancer in Namibia. And we've seen that it presents mostly in black men, and it presents earlier than it's supposed to. So right now at the Oncology Center, they're doing some research as to why that may be. But yeah, the prostate cancer rates are pretty high, and then also the mental health or the suicide rates in Namibia, as we know, are really high. The Namibian published an article last year talking about how there were 679 reported cases of suicide, but then I think it was 559 of them were committed by males. So that's a huge chunk. That's 82% of the suicides that were reported were committed by males. So we can see clearly that we need to do something about men's health. Yeah.
Are there any specific challenges or barriers that men face when it comes to seeking medical help for these particular health issues?
Yeah, I think generally we'll see that there is poor health-seeking behavior just because people don't have access to health care. So now, in the case of a man, for example, maybe you're the main provider of the house, and then in order for you to access your healthcare center, you have to leave work for maybe a day, get your sick note, and if they detect something, then you're admitted. And then you're thinking, oh my goodness, well, I'm gonna be away from work for however long. So I think most men might be scared of that, being told that something is wrong and having to take time off of work. And then there's also the psychological thing of you're not as strong as you maybe think you're supposed to be. You know, in our cultural context, that's a big thing for a lot of men. So that's something that has been postulated. I don't know, maybe Skrypt, you can...
I completely agree. I think, and I guess this is the importance of Movember and the conversation starters, because, you know, some of us, we come from cultural backgrounds where just the conversation is already uncomfortable amongst your family members and your friend groups, and sometimes it's just like, why do you have to go there? That guy is this and this for going there. But I think for me, I'm blessed to have a friend group now, which one could say maybe it's a bit later on in life, but you know, now is the perfect time. I have a friend group that encourages conversations and all types of conversations, especially when it comes to men's mental health. It's something that we could start talking about football and end up, speaking about men's mental health. And I actually, I took part in Movember before without knowing what it was actually about.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then fast forward, this might have been a few years ago, fast forward, let's say 5-6 years, we're having these conversations, and now I'm learning that it's actually very much interconnected. So I think it's important for these for safe spaces more than anything,
safe spaces
to exist, for these conversations to happen. In terms of impact tank, can you just elaborate the role in supporting the Movember movement, just as an institution, and the significance in promoting men's health?
Yeah, so our campaign is just aimed at sensitizing the public to the plight of men's health. And we just want to open up the conversation in our communities that, hey, look, this is an issue, whether it be prostate, testicular cancer, or mental health. It needs to be a topic that people speak about. So that's what our campaign is all about. And we're also going to have more coming up in the month of November. So please have a look out on our social media pages as well as our website.
And just lastly, before I let you go, any words out there to either the barbers or the gents about to go to the barber shop? But if you had just a last word for the day, for the guys out there as we start and kick off Movember, whether it's advice or whether it's just something that they should maybe keep in the back of their minds, or something that they should take cognizance of for the month.
I think that people need to remember that they're humans. Like, there's only so much that you can do. And if you see yourself being incredibly successful, doing well in all spheres of life, that includes your health. You need to be doing well in your health too. And as for healthcare professionals, we're there to serve you. We're not going to judge you and be like, oh, this person is weak. No one cares. You're actually making yourself stronger and your community stronger, because now people will be inspired by you taking that first step. So yeah, be human, look after yourself.
Oof, you heard it here first. Be human, look after yourself. Health is wealth, and there's strength in standing up and speaking about it. If you're wondering who's in studio with me dropping all these gems, I'm joined by Dr. Ndapandula Hamunime from Impact Tank. And as we move into Movember, let's keep the awareness there, and let's keep the conversations going. And because there's someone out there maybe struggling to speak up, and the more safe spaces exist, the more these conversations happen.
That was MYD Heart.